Oh, here we go. Okay, so this one, UK Army's most senior trans officer warns trans personal personnel are unlikely to serve beyond 2026. Wow, next year. So what's the reason for this? What have they said? Let me just I want to go on the main channel. See if there's so this is Grace, Colonel Grace Sundry Walls. Okay, I butchered her name. Okay, there's nothing else there. Well, let me just go for this, and then we'll find out what this is all about. So, we'll put this here. So, what is this? What is this article about? What's happening? So, Colonel Grace Sandgest Wall, okay, the British Army's most senior trans officer, warned at the LGBTQ plus Defence Award that trans personnel may not be able to serve beyond 2026. Okay. She removed her military uniform before speaking, clarifying her comments reflected personal views, not the Ministry of Defense. Okay, fair enough. So she took off her uniform. She separated it from her position. Okay. She argues that there is no evidence to justify restricting trans people's military service, just as there was none for the historical ban on the LGBTQ plus volunteers in the 1950s and 1960s. Right. So, yeah. So, what she said, it's increasingly likely she and other trans service members will be able to continue serving past next year. The MOD rejects this claim, stating they remain committed to inclusivity and await guidance from the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, the EHRC. Her warning comes after President Trump has already banned trans personnel from serving. So basically, what's happening is because we already know that Trump has already banned trans people from serving in the armed forces. She's saying because of the recent law, the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, that trans people will no longer be represented, will not be accepted, because it won't, obviously they don't accept that in law now, do they? Because of what they're trying to do with the EHA. So we're going to see what the EHRC are going to do, because they're putting recommended guidances out now. But if they're eradicating us from public life and from work life, she's saying, well, there won't be any trans people anyway, because she won't recognize us anyway as trans. So won't be it. We won't be it, will we? We won't exist, even though we will. We are here. So why does this matter? So it's uncertain for service members. So basically, it's uncertainty for service members. It suggests the looming rollback of rights for trans soldiers, despite decades of integration. Yeah, well, we watched a video not so long ago on this live program, and we watched one about it was about I think it was 10-year-old video or something, about a trans officer, and she was saying about how inclusive the army was, that you could get on with your role as an army officer and still be transgender. It wasn't like transgender was the key thing. It was like, you're an army officer, but being trans in the army wasn't a problem. It was like you could just get on with your life, and serve and do your job. But they had the system in place to support you as a trans person as well. That's all it was. It didn't mean that all of a sudden the army is now all about trans people. It's not. It's still the army, but it had a place for trans people. So the MOD insists it is inclusive, but offers but officers fear with the system. There's a fear now about what's going to happen. So in history parallels, we got echoes the unjust ban of LGBT plus people in the mid 20th century, showing progress is not guaranteed. Yeah, well, the thing is, we'd gone past all this. We realized that if you want to serve in the army, if you choose to serve in the army, it really doesn't matter about your sexuality or your gender identity. None of that matters. You can still serve in the army. You can still do the position. It's only a problem when you start restricting people's identities and sexuality that then it becomes a problem, because those people either have to lie about their true who they are, or they won't join, because why would you join if you're not welcomed into that? What else have we got here? So national security. So losing trained and skilled personnel because of identity, not ability, weakens the military. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in America it's been a big mistake what Trump's done. I mean, why does it matter? Why are you kicking out trans people from the army? It makes no sense. Like, why they can do the job? So what's the problem? So a symbolic moment. So her taking off her uniform, removing her uniform, so it underscores the seriousness of this issue and her personal risk in raising it. Yeah. Well, obviously she had to take off the uniform because people would have accused her of saying, "Oh, well, this is not what the army thinks." And so she's like, "No, well, okay, I'll take it off and I'll tell you from personally as a trans person then." So Trump has already said that removing trans people from the armed forces. So this has already happened in America. Even though Biden he reversed anything for that before when he was in power, but as soon as Trump got back in power, he's definitely done that. And that's the same in a lot of countries that are still, how you say, developing countries, and countries like Russia. We were talking about in an earlier video today, where they don't let trans people in the army. I know they don't in Thailand, which I think Thailand's a really accepting country, but they still don't let trans people in the army. When really the argument is, well, why does it matter? Why they can still do what they're doing? If they want to be in the army, why not let them in? So about NATO countries, Canada and many European states permit open trans service. So still in Europe and Canada, it's fine to be trans. They treat inclusion as standard. Yeah, as long as you have procedures in place, it's fine. If you don't have procedures, that's where it's a problem. Both frame LGBTQ. So sorry, Russia and China. Yeah, I didn't bring up China. China's another one of these countries. Both China and Russia, they frame LGBTQ plus visibility as incompatible with military or national strength. So they feel okay. So they feel that it's a weakness to have LGBTQ plus people in the army. No evidence for this. Not true at all. No evidence at all. So okay. Well, what about the global takeaway? So military service have become a frontline issue in the wider culture war over trans rights. Whether states uphold or remove inclusive signals, not only values but also affects operation readiness. Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of things like online and on the internet and stuff like that, where when people anti-trans people, anti-LGBTQ plus people, and they always make out like, well, why don't be inclusive with trans people? So it's just like anything. It's like it's really simple. Once you put those, you make it inclusive, it means that they can just do the job. It's not that the army becomes about gay people or becomes about trans people. They're still the army. They're still um the same as they were before. They're still there to fight and protect the country. It's just that it might just happen that someone is transgender, or someone is gay serving in there. That's all it is. They don't. Let me make it a bit bigger. I mean, if you want to take the stereotypes to say like, oh well, they're all. How can you say make when they have a gay man, they might make him more effeminate and make him like he's not strong or something like that, and all this stupid stuff. And I mean, none of that's true about individuals. We're all different. And also, when we talk about the army, it's not like everyone has to pick up a gun and go and onto the front line and shoot and stuff like that. Some people do other jobs in the army. You have You have people that are there for like working out how they're going to attack a situation. You have people who do paperwork or answer the phone. You have people that actually, you have people in the army that just cook food. You have chefs and stuff like that. They're part of the army. Um, so an army isn't just about, oh, you have to be really good at fighting, and how's a trans person going to be able to fight a Russian? It's like there isn't going to be much physical fighting in an army nowadays, and there's lots of different jobs in an army. It depends what position you have, what you're doing. Nobody's saying that trans people now have to like, pick up a gun and go and fight on the front line. Nobody's saying that, but it's just one of these things, these countries that just they want to kind of erase trans people. No races. Trump's already done it in America. He's already got them out of the army, and like we're hearing in the UK, the EHRC. Yeah, those guys. Well, they're just ruining everything out there. They're just part of the problem as well. So yeah, so I thought I'd bring that up. Yeah, there we go.